say the word about it, most of the people were shocked. But half of them already started watching TV or reading some channels where they said that it's not so easy. It's quite more complicated than that. And so mostly, I think that there is an opinion that West doesn't really like us. So we need to be strong. And of course, I think right now most of Russian population hates Ukrainians because they can see what they're writing, and of course, you can't say that Ukrainians will not love us. You can't accept this, and it's difficult to accept this hatred towards you. So it's psychological. You're protecting. Yeah.
But I would like to say that most of Russians, young people, they actually take maybe neither side. They just cannot do anything and they just leave.
Yeah, maybe. I would say that most of the people who are very radical about it, it's just maybe 5% of them. Most of them, they're just neutral. Yeah.
Okay. Next question.
What's the most popular foreign language in Russia for Russian people?
English.
You mean in our multinational or foreign language?
Yeah.
Foreign language.
Yeah.
Okay.
English. Yeah.
Okay. Your question?
It's just a stereotype, but I want to ask, do Russian like to drink vodka?
Yes, they do.
But if you look up which countries drink the most, it won't be Russia.
But vodka is very popular.
Yeah. For example, my grandfather, if he has a lunch, he can drink a cup of vodka with it daily.
Daily.
Yes, it's normal.
Actually, vodka is quite healthy. No, it's a fact. Okay, next question.
I wonder what kind of environment that you grow up before you move to Moscow.
Very interesting question, because actually in all, for example, my region, they're mostly my nation. So they're mostly Asian, and here mostly Asian, and of course it's easy to live in Asian area when your classmates mostly Asians, and when you move to different district like Moscow, there is mostly Russians, mostly Slavic, and yeah, it's quite difficult to use to it, but you need just time. With time, you can use to everything. But yeah, it was difficult, but of course, difficulties makes you stronger, and your mindset will be wider. Next question.
Спасибо на лекции. Скажите, пожалуйста, дорогой, живут в Москве?
Is it expensive? Дорого ли жить?
Is it expensive to live in Moscow?
Yes.
Спасибо за русскую речь.
I don't know, should we answer in
Oh.
Russian or in English?
You want answer in Russian or English? Okay. I think in Moscow it's quite expensive to live because Moscow is our capital, and salaries in Moscow 3-4 times more. For example, in Moscow, average salary about 160,000 rubles, and here it's about 30,000. So it's
It's a big difference.
yeah, it's 8, 7, 6 times more. So in Moscow it's quite difficult to live and expensive, and of course to buy a partner. Okay, next question.
Do you have same time zone
No,
West to
you
east
can
is
see at
so
this
big.
picture we have 11 time zones. Start from Kaliningrad, it's in Europe, and finish in Sakhalin. For example, in Moscow it's 12 p.m. and in my region it's 5 p.m.
For example, there is one exam that all Russians write when they're in 11th grade high school, and the answers from the city Vladivostok, which is from here, they're leaking the answers for Moscow and other regions in the morning.
We write exam at 10 a.m. and first 10 a.m. comes to Vladivostok, so they just send answers to Moscow, and Moscow ready to pass exam. Okay, next question.
I want to ask about the languages because there are about 100 languages in Russia. But is there like a more language that most people speak?
Russian. It's Russian. Yes. Actually, maybe there is even a problem with these smaller languages of smaller ethnicities because right now they are learning them in those regions at schools, right?
No, actually we're not learning, but mostly it's Russian. But we have like older people who really want us to speak our native language, but it's like young people think that it's unnecessary and it's not useful because mostly we speak Russian and it's difficult to learn because now we don't study it in school and mostly we study Russian and only maybe a little school they study native language. But I know that in this area they can speak their native language really fluently. But some of young people they can speak, but mostly they already don't. Okay, next question.
Is it easy to see beer in Siberia area?
I haven't seen a bear, but only in the zoo. So maybe if you go to like wild area, you can see it and you can. Okay, next question.
Have you saw some wild animal when you are young?
Wild,
Maybe like wolves or deer.
yeah, actually, I was traveling in my mother's hometown. It's like a small, very small town, about like 5,000, and was like big birds, and there was wolves, and yeah, it's quite interesting to see. But now, if you want to see wild animals, it's quite dangerous. Okay, next question. Yeah, sure.
No, I mean one last question.
Okay, one last question. Take this opportunity. You will regret about it. Okay.
The place you grew up is like a small, it's like a village in forest or it's like city like almost.
My hometown is around 400,000 people. So yes, we have like in each area we have capital. And I was living in the capital of my district, and it's of course like compared to Moscow, it's very difficult. But I love my hometown, and it's. What was the question?
It's like a village in forest or like a small city in Russia.
In forest or small city?
Yes.
My hometown is not a forest. It's just city, every city. Okay, thank you for. Thank you for coming.